Hey, what's up, y'all? I got a story time for y'all. I'm trying to cut it short as much as I can because I also got to toss in some other stories, because it'll all come together. But, anyways, this is my story about living in Missouri. And if you're familiar with Missouri, I was living in the St. Charles area, which is right across the river from St. Louis. And at this time, I was only like 8 or 9 years old. So when I was living there, um, everything was cool. It's a really nice, safe community. Um, I had a best friend out there, and we used to do regular crazy kid stuff, jump off of roofs and do some like weird skateboard or razor stuff, and um, what else? Dig holes and build ramps and jump our bikes over them. Go exploring through the woods. Uh, Go down to the creek, catch crawdads, swim in the creek, all that fun stuff. And, that was pretty much like my typical day to day when I was living out there, along with like other little stuff. And I'll get into that in a minute. So, um, one weekend or week, his uncle came to visit. And I was too young at the time to actually like judge people's character. Like if they were just genuinely nice to me, I was nice back. But I couldn't tell if somebody would be nice to me for other purposes, if you know what I mean. So one day we had went to church, and I usually go to church with him and his dad like all the time. And his uncle came with us. Nothing wrong with that. And this was like one of those big, mega churches with like the TVs and stuff. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still standing today. It was called Church on the Rock. So, I don't know. And I'm not a Christian anymore. And I'm not an atheist either. So, I just had to throw that in there. But anyways, so we was riding back from church and everything was cool. And then all of a sudden, his uncle was just saying like the most insane slurs that I've ever heard in my life. And I wasn't like, I've heard like at this time I heard racist stuff said to me, and it didn't really bother me. It was kind of frustrating when people actually acted on the racist stuff. Sun in the face. And for somebody, my best friend's uncle, and I loved his dad too. Like we were really close, all of us. And I just couldn't believe it. Like he's calling me an N-word this, N-word that. And my friend's dad, he was like, you gotta knock it off, knock it off. I better not hear you say that word one more time, or I'm kicking you out. And he's just going on and on with fucking racist shit. And like pointing at me and shit. That was a crazy time. But anyways, he ended up pulling over and kicking this guy out. He kicked his own fucking brother out to fucking defend me. That shit, I will never forget that shit. Like, I don't know all the details, but I just remember his uncle saying racist stuff, and the dad didn't have any tolerance for it. He kicked him out. And then while we were like going down the road, he was like, "Oh, I apologize. Like my fucking mind was blown. Like I've had racist stuff happen to me, but for someone to stand up for me, that was like a whole nother level because I never really had anybody to like stand up for me as far as like racist shit goes. And back then, I was a lot darker than I look now. And then it's wintertime right now, so I'm extra light. But I was just shocked. I couldn't believe somebody would like do that shit right in front of my face, and I don't know. But like I said, like I will never forget what my friend's dad did for me. And I actually reached out to my friend like last year, or he reached out to me, I can't remember. And I was just telling him like how much I appreciate his dad and all this other stuff. That had a big ass fucking effect on my life. Because, and this is where the little stories come in. I've always had weird stuff happen. Like people watch me, look at me, make weird comments, and like around this age, I probably was like 7 or 8, maybe. It probably was happening until 9, like my whole duration I was there. But I would get on the bus, and the older kids would give me this mean ass fucking look, and they're just telling me to move out of the seat because they're sitting there. Like that kind of fucking shit. And like I said, that had a really, really, I don't know if you could say like profound effect, but it just made me realize that, you know, it don't matter if I am black and white. It's the fact that I have any black in me is just a terrible thing. You know, like I didn't do anything to these people. I didn't say anything to his uncle. I'm genuinely a nice person. But all these people have all this hatred in their heart just because of how I look. Even my own people. That's the fucking crazy shit. That fucking shit is crazy. Because I do have white in me. In fact, I have more white in me than any other race. I'm mixed with a whole bunch of stuff. But what German, specifically, and Nigerian, Gambian, and then I have like, I don't know, like Irish and other stuff. But I'm more white than anything else. And I'm still seen as like the bad guy. Just because my skin is just a shade or two too dark. You know. And then people want to scream out reverse racism and stuff like that. Like, what? So all these things that happen to me, all this anger and resentment that I have inside my heart, and you're telling me that me having all these people, it's a lot of people. It's not just a few bad seeds. And they all have this like hatred towards me. And if I was to say like, all right, well, I don't care for the other race or white people or whatever, and then I'm seen as the bad guy because I shouldn't feel this way. But my experiences, they're telling me that I've been through so much hatred that I gotta watch out for these people. And some people see being mixed as like the best of both worlds, which it can be sometimes. But I think it's mostly bad in my experience anyways. Because not only do one race hate you, the race that they claim that you are, those people don't like you either. I don't know. I try my hardest to love people, to give everything that I have for people. And at the end of the day, it's like taking a toll on my mental health. And I feel like my whole purpose on this planet is to give as much as I can, to work, perform, do like good works in society and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to have patience for people. I love people, but goddamn, I hate them at the same time. So I know I'm kind of cutting it close. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or you guys have a story of your own, let me know. Peace.